Why don't people like me? It's a question that many of us have pondered at some point in our lives. Whether we're navigating social circles, striving to excel in our careers, or seeking deeper connections with others, understanding why we may not be everyone's cup of tea is crucial for personal growth and building meaningful relationships. In this episode, we'll embark on a journey to uncover the 9 common reasons why people may find themselves disliked by others. From personality traits to communication habits, we'll delve into the underlying factors that contribute to strained relationships and offer actionable insights on how to address them. Whether you're looking to enhance your social skills, foster better professional connections, or simply improve your interpersonal dynamics, this exploration will provide valuable insights and practical strategies to help you become more likable and forge stronger connections with those around you. So, if you've ever found yourself wondering why some people seem to gravitate away from you, join us as we unravel the mysteries behind the factors that influence how others perceive and respond to us. Chapter 1: Lack of Empathy, the disconnect that breeds disdain. In the intricate dance of social interaction, empathy serves as the music that guides our steps, allowing us to move in harmony with those around us. It's the ability to step into someone else's shoes, to feel what they feel, and to understand their perspective. However, for some individuals, this crucial element of human connection remains elusive, leaving them stumbling through social interactions with a deaf ear and a blind eye to the emotions of others. When empathy is absent, conversations become monologues rather than dialogues, with one party dominating the discussion while the other's feelings are disregarded or dismissed. This lack of empathy can manifest in various ways, from failing to acknowledge someone's pain or joy to outright invalidating their experiences. It creates a profound sense of disconnect, leaving others feeling unseen, unheard, and ultimately unvalued. In interpersonal relationships, empathy acts as the glue that binds individuals together, fostering mutual understanding and trust. Without it, those bonds weaken, and resentment begins to seep in, poisoning the well of goodwill that once flowed freely between people. Whether it's a friend seeking solace, a colleague sharing their struggles, or a partner expressing their needs, the absence of empathy erects a barrier that prevents genuine connection and leaves relationships feeling shallow and superficial. Moreover, the repercussions of this lack of empathy extend beyond personal relationships, seeping into the broader fabric of society. In a world where divisiveness and polarization reign supreme, empathy serves as a beacon of hope, illuminating the path toward understanding and reconciliation. Without it, conflicts escalate, misunderstandings fester, and bridges burn, leaving behind a landscape littered with broken relationships and fractured communities. But all is not lost. Empathy is not a fixed trait, but a skill that can be cultivated and nurtured over time. By actively listening to others, seeking to understand their perspectives, and validating their experiences, we can begin to bridge the gap that separates us and forge connections built on empathy and compassion. It requires a willingness to set aside our own preconceptions and biases to truly see the world through the eyes of another. In doing so, we not only enrich our own lives, but also contribute to the collective well-being of society. For empathy is the cornerstone of a thriving community, the mortar that holds us together in times of strife and the balm that soothes our wounds when we falter. So let us strive to cultivate empathy in ourselves and others, for in its absence lies the seat of discontent and in its presence, the promise of a brighter, more compassionate world. Chapter 2: Lack of Authenticity, the facade that fosters distrust. Authenticity, the quality of being genuine, real, and true to oneself, is a cornerstone of meaningful human connection. It is the foundation upon which trust is built, the currency of sincerity exchanged in the transactions of interpersonal relationships. However, for some individuals, authenticity remains elusive, obscured behind a carefully crafted facade designed to project an image of perfection or conformity. In a world where social media perpetuates curated versions of reality and societal expectations dictate norms of behavior, the pressure to conform can be overwhelming. As a result, many individuals find themselves wearing masks, hiding behind veneers of success, popularity, or desirability in an attempt to fit in or gain approval. Yet, beneath the surface lies a hollow emptiness, a sense of disconnection from one's true self and others. The lack of authenticity breeds distrust, as others sense the incongruence between words and actions, between persona and reality. Relationships built on pretense are fragile, prone to crumbling under the weight of deception and disillusionment. Whether in friendships, romantic partnerships, or professional collaborations, authenticity is the bedrock upon which trust is built, and without it, relationships falter, leaving behind a trail of broken promises and shattered expectations. Moreover, the pursuit of authenticity is not merely a personal endeavor, but a societal imperative. In a world rife with misinformation, manipulation, and deceit, authenticity serves as a beacon of truth, guiding us through the murky waters of deception and falsehood. It is the antidote to the erosion of trust that plagues our institutions and undermines our collective well-being. But embracing authenticity requires courage, the courage to be vulnerable, to reveal our imperfections, and to stand in our truth, even in the face of judgment or rejection. It requires a willingness to confront the fear of rejection and embrace the freedom that comes from living in alignment with our values and beliefs. In doing so, we not only liberate ourselves from the shackles of pretense, but also inspire others to do the same. Authenticity begets authenticity, creating a ripple effect that reverberates through our relationships and communities, fostering deeper connections and greater trust. So let us cast aside the masks we wear and embrace the beauty of our authentic selves. Let us celebrate our quirks, our flaws, and our unique perspectives, knowing that it is in our authenticity that we find true connection and belonging. For in a world hungry for sincerity, authenticity is the nourishment that feeds the soul and sustains the spirit. Chapter 3: Lack of Empathy, the Disconnect That Drives Alienation. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another, is a fundamental aspect of human interaction. It is the bridge that connects us to one another, allowing us to navigate the complexities of emotions and experiences with compassion and understanding. Yet, for some individuals, empathy remains elusive, overshadowed by self-absorption or indifference. The lack of empathy manifests itself in various forms, from a disregard for the feelings of others to a failure to recognize the impact of one's words and actions. It is often rooted in a sense of entitlement or superiority, where individuals prioritize their own needs and desires above those of others, viewing empathy as a sign of weakness rather than strength. In interpersonal relationships, the absence of empathy breeds resentment and mistrust, as individuals feel unheard, unvalued, and misunderstood. It creates a sense of disconnect, where one's emotional needs go unmet, leading to feelings of isolation and alienation. Without empathy, relationships become transactional rather than relational, devoid of the depth and intimacy that comes from genuine understanding and connection. Moreover, the lack of empathy extends beyond individual relationships to societal dynamics, where systemic injustices and inequalities persist due to a failure to empathize with the experiences of marginalized communities. It perpetuates cycles of oppression and discrimination, where the voices of the marginalized are silenced and their struggles dismissed. Yet, cultivating empathy is not beyond our reach. It requires a willingness to step outside of ourselves, to listen deeply to the experiences of others, and to open our hearts to their pain and suffering. It requires us to recognize our interconnectedness and to embrace our shared humanity, acknowledging that we are all deserving of compassion and kindness. In doing so, we not only enrich our own lives, but also contribute to the creation of a more compassionate and just world. Empathy is the antidote to the divisiveness and polarization that plague our society, bridging the gaps that divide us and fostering a sense of unity and solidarity. So let us cultivate empathy in our hearts and minds, seeking to understand rather than judge, to listen rather than dismiss. Let us extend compassion to all beings, recognizing that in the act of empathy lies the power to heal wounds, mend broken relationships, and transform lives. For in a world hungering for connection, empathy is the balm that soothes the soul and restores our humanity. Chapter 4: A lack of authenticity, the facade that fosters distrust. Authenticity is the cornerstone of genuine human connection. It is the quality that allows us to be true to ourselves, to express our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs without pretense or artifice. Yet, in a world where social media often glorifies perfection and superficiality, authenticity can be hard to come by. Those who lack authenticity often wear masks, hiding their true selves behind a facade of conformity or image management. They present themselves in ways that they believe will garner approval or admiration, sacrificing their true desires and values in the process. However, this charade inevitably leads to feelings of disconnection and distrust from others. When people perceive others as inauthentic, they instinctively recoil, sensing that something is amiss beneath the surface. This lack of trust erodes relationships and creates barriers to meaningful connection, as individuals struggle to discern what is genuine and what is merely a performance. Furthermore, the pursuit of authenticity is not just about being true to oneself, it is also about honoring the authenticity of others. When we interact with others authentically, we invite them to do the same, creating a space where vulnerability and honesty can flourish. In contrast, when we project an inauthentic persona, we signal to others that it is not safe to be themselves, further perpetuating a cycle of distrust and disconnection. Ultimately, authenticity requires courage, the courage to be vulnerable, to embrace imperfection, and to stand in our truth, even when it is uncomfortable. It is about owning our stories, including the messy and imperfect parts, and finding strength in our vulnerability. By cultivating authenticity in our interactions, we can break down the barriers that separate us and foster deeper connections with those around us. It is through authenticity that we find belonging and acceptance, forging bonds that are built on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. So let us strive to be authentic in all that we do, to show up as our true selves, and to honor the authenticity of others. For in authenticity lies the power to cultivate genuine connections, to build meaningful relationships, and to create a world where we can all be seen, heard, and valued for who we truly are. Chapter 5: Lack of empathy, the barrier to understanding. Empathy, often described as the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, is a fundamental aspect of human connection. It allows us to bridge the gap between ourselves and others, to recognize and validate their emotions, and to respond with compassion and kindness. However, when empathy is lacking, it creates a significant barrier to understanding and connection. People who lack empathy may struggle to recognize or acknowledge the emotions of others. They may be insensitive to the needs and experiences of those around them, prioritizing their own concerns or perspectives above all else. This self-centered approach to interactions can lead to misunderstandings, hurt feelings, and strained relationships. Moreover, the absence of empathy can manifest in various ways, from outright indifference to the suffering of others to more subtle forms of dismissiveness or invalidation. Whether intentional or unintentional, the result is the same: a breakdown in communication and a sense of disconnection between individuals. Empathy is not just a nicety, it is a vital component of healthy relationships and social cohesion. When we empathize with others, we demonstrate our willingness to listen, understand, and support them in their struggles. We validate their experiences and emotions, creating a sense of belonging and trust. Conversely, when empathy is lacking, relationships suffer. People feel unheard, misunderstood, and unvalued, leading to resentment, conflict, and distance. Without empathy, it is difficult to establish meaningful connections or cultivate genuine understanding between individuals. Fortunately, empathy is a skill that can be developed and nurtured over time. By actively listening to others, seeking to understand their perspectives, and practicing compassion and kindness, we can strengthen our empathetic abilities and deepen our connections with those around us. In today's fast-paced and often disconnected world, empathy is more important than ever. It is the glue that holds relationships together, the bridge that spans our differences, and the foundation upon which we build a more compassionate and understanding society. So let us strive to cultivate empathy in ourselves and in our interactions with others, for it is through empathy that we can truly see and support one another on our shared journey through life. Chapter 6: Arrogance, the Wall of Self-Importance. Arrogance, often characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance or superiority, can be a significant deterrent to building positive relationships with others. When someone exhibits arrogance, they project an attitude of entitlement, condescension, or disdain towards those around them, creating a barrier that alienates others and undermines trust and respect. One of the primary reasons why people may dislike someone who displays arrogance is that it creates a sense of imbalance in the relationship dynamic. Arrogant individuals often believe they are superior to others, whether intellectually, socially, or in some other aspect, and this attitude can lead to patronizing or dismissive behavior towards those they perceive as beneath them. Such behavior can make others feel diminished, undervalued, or even ridiculed, leading to resentment and animosity. Moreover, arrogance can be off-putting because it signals a lack of humility and openness to learning from others. People who are arrogant may be unwilling to consider alternative viewpoints or admit when they are wrong, which can hinder constructive dialogue and collaboration. Instead of fostering mutual respect and understanding, arrogance fosters division and hostility, as others feel shut out or invalidated by the arrogant individual's unwillingness to engage with them on equal footing. Furthermore, arrogance often masks deeper insecurities or vulnerabilities. People who exhibit arrogant behavior may do so as a defense mechanism to protect themselves from feelings of inadequacy or inferiority. By projecting an air of superiority, they seek to bolster their self-esteem and assert their dominance over others. However, this strategy ultimately backfires, as it pushes others away and prevents meaningful connections from forming. In contrast, humility and modesty are traits that tend to garner respect and admiration from others. People who are humble are perceived as approachable, genuine, and trustworthy, making it easier to establish rapport and build rapport. Humble individuals are also more likely to acknowledge their own limitations and mistakes, creating an environment where open communication and mutual growth can flourish. Ultimately, overcoming arrogance requires a willingness to examine one's own attitudes and behaviors critically. By cultivating self-awareness and practicing humility, individuals can dismantle the walls of arrogance and foster healthier, more positive relationships with those around them. It is through humility and empathy that we can break down barriers and create a more inclusive and supportive community for everyone. Chapter 7: Lack of Empathy, the Blind Spot in Human Connection. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, is a fundamental aspect of human connection. When someone lacks empathy, it can create significant barriers to building positive relationships and lead to feelings of alienation and resentment in those around them. One of the primary reasons why people may dislike someone who lacks empathy is that it creates a sense of emotional disconnect. When someone fails to recognize or validate the emotions of others, it can leave them feeling unheard, misunderstood, or invalidated. This lack of empathy can lead to feelings of loneliness or isolation, as individuals struggle to connect with someone who seems indifferent or indifferent to their experiences. Moreover, a lack of empathy can contribute to a sense of selfishness or self-centeredness in interpersonal interactions. When someone prioritizes their own needs and desires over those of others and fails to consider how their actions impact those around them, it can breed resentment and frustration in those who feel neglected or overlooked. This selfishness can manifest in various ways, from failing to offer emotional support to disregarding the feelings of others in pursuit of personal gain. Furthermore, a lack of empathy can hinder effective communication and conflict resolution. When someone is unable or unwilling to empathize with the perspectives and emotions of others, it can lead to misunderstandings, misinterpretations, and conflicts. Without empathy, it becomes challenging to navigate interpersonal dynamics and resolve conflicts constructively, leading to further discord and tension in relationships. In contrast, empathy is a powerful tool for fostering understanding, compassion, and connection with others. When someone demonstrates empathy, they show that they care about the well-being and feelings of those around them, creating a sense of trust and mutual respect. Empathetic individuals are better equipped to navigate interpersonal challenges, resolve conflicts, and build strong, supportive relationships based on mutual understanding and empathy. Ultimately, cultivating empathy requires a willingness to step outside of oneself and truly listen to the experiences and emotions of others. By practicing active listening, showing compassion, and validating the feelings of others, individuals can break down the barriers of indifference and cultivate deeper, more meaningful connections with those around them. It is through empathy that we can bridge the gap between ourselves and others, fostering a more compassionate and inclusive world for everyone. Chapter 8: Arrogance, the off-putting attitude that drives people away. Arrogance, characterized by an exaggerated sense of self-importance and superiority, is a trait that can quickly alienate others and lead to disdain and resentment. People who exhibit arrogance often come across as dismissive, condescending, and unwilling to consider the perspectives or contributions of others, which can make them difficult to like or respect. One of the primary reasons why arrogance can be so off-putting is that it creates a barrier to genuine connection. When someone acts as though they are superior to others and dismisses their opinions or experiences, it can make those around them feel belittled or insignificant. This sense of superiority can lead to feelings of resentment and animosity, as individuals bristle at being treated as inferior or unworthy of respect. Moreover, arrogance can hinder effective communication and collaboration. When someone is unwilling to listen to the ideas or feedback of others because they believe they know best, it can stifle creativity, innovation, and progress. Instead of fostering open dialogue and collaboration, arrogance breeds defensiveness and resistance, making it difficult to work together toward common goals. Furthermore, arrogance often masks underlying insecurities or vulnerabilities. People who project an arrogant facade may do so as a defense mechanism to protect themselves from feelings of inadequacy or uncertainty. However, this defensive posture can backfire, as it pushes others away and reinforces feelings of isolation and disconnection. In contrast, humility is a trait that fosters genuine connection and respect with others. Humble individuals are able to acknowledge their strengths and accomplishments without feeling the need to boast or belittle others. They are open to learning from others and value the perspectives and contributions of those around them. By cultivating humility, individuals can break down the barriers of arrogance and build stronger, more positive relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. Ultimately, overcoming arrogance requires a willingness to examine one's own attitudes and behaviors and make a conscious effort to cultivate humility and empathy. By practicing humility, actively listening to others, and valuing their contributions, individuals can foster a more inclusive and supportive environment where everyone feels valued and respected. It is through humility that we can bridge the gap between ourselves and others, fostering deeper, more meaningful connections based on mutual respect and understanding. Chapter 9: Lack of empathy, the emotional blind spot. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, is a fundamental aspect of human connection. When someone lacks empathy, they are unable or unwilling to recognize and respond to the emotions and needs of others, which can lead to strained relationships and feelings of resentment and alienation. One of the primary reasons why people may dislike someone who lacks empathy is that they feel unseen and invalidated. When individuals express their emotions or share their experiences, they rely on others to respond with empathy and understanding. However, when someone lacks empathy, they may dismiss or minimize the feelings of others, leaving them feeling unheard and unimportant. Moreover, a lack of empathy can lead to insensitive or hurtful behavior. Without the ability to empathize with others, individuals may inadvertently say or do things that are hurtful or offensive, further damaging their relationships and causing others to view them negatively. This lack of consideration for the feelings of others can create a toxic environment characterized by tension and conflict. Furthermore, empathy is essential for building trust and rapport with others. When individuals feel understood and supported, they are more likely to trust and respect those around them. However, when someone lacks empathy, it erodes trust and undermines the foundation of healthy relationships. Without empathy, individuals may struggle to connect with others on a meaningful level, leading to feelings of isolation and loneliness. In contrast, empathy fosters connection and understanding between individuals. When someone demonstrates empathy, they validate the experiences and emotions of others, creating a supportive and compassionate environment where everyone feels valued and respected. By cultivating empathy, individuals can bridge the gap between themselves and others, fostering deeper, more meaningful relationships based on mutual understanding and compassion. Ultimately, overcoming a lack of empathy requires a willingness to prioritize the feelings and experiences of others. By actively listening to others, validating their emotions, and responding with compassion, individuals can cultivate empathy and strengthen their relationships with others. It is through empathy that we can build stronger, more connected communities where everyone feels valued and supported. In conclusion, understanding why people may dislike you can be a challenging but valuable exercise in self-awareness and personal growth. By recognizing and addressing these reasons, you can take proactive steps to improve your relationships and cultivate a more positive reputation among others. Remember, it's essential to approach this process with an open mind and a willingness to reflect on your behavior and its impact on those around you. While change may not happen overnight, committing to personal growth and actively working on building stronger, more positive relationships can lead to profound and lasting improvements in both your personal and professional life. As we navigate the complexities of human relationships, let us strive to embody empathy, respect, and kindness in all our interactions. By doing so, we can create a more compassionate and understanding world where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the reasons why people may dislike you. We hope you found this episode insightful and thought-provoking. Until next time, remember to approach every interaction with empathy and understanding, and may your journey towards building meaningful connections be filled with growth and fulfillment.